Hey guys, so I'm back with another video, and in this video we are going to continue our BMI calculator app using .NET MAUI. So this is the second part. So far we have this main screen, we have designed this UI, we are taking reference from this one. So let's continue. The next part we are going to have this button, calculate button. So for this, let's create an image button. So if you remember in our last part, we have added these two buttons, right arrow and reset. So this right arrow button, we are going to use this. So let's use image button, and the source is going to be this right arrow only, right arrow. And then now let's have this. And now we are going to design this. So first thing, height, let's have it somewhat 100, width again 100, and then radius 50. We need to make it a circle, so the corner radius, it should be half of the height and width. And then let's use background color as white. Save. So this is like this, then have some padding, let's say 20. Fine, we have this. And after that we need to move it to the right, so vertical options and horizontal options and fine. Next thing, let's have it a different row. So let's try to have three different rows on the main grid. So first one star, second one auto, and third one auto. And then move this image button out of here and have it after border, and this thing is going to be row 2, and this image button, let's have it on row 1. So we have this thing. Now next thing is we need to have some shadow effect. So for that, let's have it full. Then we can have image button dot shadow, and now we can use this shadow tag. And for the shadow we can have brush. So in brush we can pass color of the shadow. So for this one we need shadow color same as this light reddish color which we are using, and that is, I guess, this one. We could have these as color properties, so we could use those static resources, but for now I'm having this like this only. Shadow, this is the shadow. And then next thing for shadow, okay, so the borders, it is showing kind of a square with rotation, so it is not complete circle, and this is because we have padding of 20 and corner radius of 50, so it adds up to 70. So we should have it lesser than this. Corner radius 30, padding 20, it will sum up to 50. 50, fine. And let's go back to shadow. So after brush we would use the same radius on brush what we have used on corner radius, so 30. And then let's have offset. So offset is actually the position of the shadow. So let's have it 5 and 5. Fine, we have this thing, and let's move it to the top, this button. So we will have margin here, and this margin from left side we need 0. From top we need half of the height. So the height is 100, so we need minus 50, and then 0 is 0 from the remaining two ends. So it looks like this. Let's increase the size. So instead of 100, let's use 150, 150, 150, 150. Now half of it would be 75. 20 we already have padding, so the remaining would be 55. The same thing we need to do on shadow, so 55 the radius, and it looks nice now. Next thing is, and yeah, we need to move it up a bit. So instead of 50, now the height is 150, so we need to use the half, that will go to 75, so minus 75, and it looks nice. Next thing is the color of this image, this icon. So let's use the same approach we used for these male and female icons. So we could add behavior. Let's copy that behavior, this one. Let's copy this behavior, and fine, we have this now. So this button, this looks good. Let's try to let's try how would it look like if this radius on this border, if we have this on this white part. So that means for this vertical stack layout, so instead of this vertical stack layout, what if we could have it as a border, and then we had this thing, and on this border, first thing, let's use grid dot row 2. Fine, padding 25, which we had on vertical stack layout. Then comment this vertical stack layout, and then try stroke shape, round rectangle. So left top we need 50, right top 50, left bottom 0, right bottom 0. Fine. Next thing, we don't need this stroke thickness, let's have it 0. Okay, and in that case background color, let's try to have background color maybe grayish color. Okay, it is working. So let's go to the top border, this one, and let's have it 0 and 0 instead of 25. 0 0 0 0. Now we have this thing. So after border we had this image button, and now we should somehow, what if we copy this image button inside this border only? That means in border we are going to have a grid with 2 rows. row definition. So let's have these auto and auto, and then first row is going to have this one, row 0, and let's remove this. Okay, fine, but this will not come out of this. Why not we have this border as a part of this second row? Let's try that. Let me go back, copy this border, keep going back. Okay, revert this, and and this image button, for this image button what I am going to try, I am going to try this thing, and this image button is going to be part of this border, and we will have it as white only. This will be row 1, and why isn't it working? Grid row 1, padding this, and margin 0, 50, 0, 0. Okay, now we have a problem. This image button, this is, so this margin is getting applied on this thing now. So what can we try? Let me think. Let me try to have a grid again here. So grid, it will have, let's say, single row only, and it will be row number 1 of its parent, and then the first item is going to have this thing, and the second item, let's say the first item is going to have this border, then second item is going to have this thing. Fine, it is working on this grid. Now we will apply this same margin. Same margin, that means this grid is, let me try to restart, maybe it is somewhat broken. Let's see how it looks. Okay, so it came here. Now next thing is, on this border let's have this 0, and yes, now it is looking good. Next thing is, on this border let's try to have the shadow effect. So border dot shadow, and let's copy the same shadow. Where is it? This one. And and for this, radius is fine, but offset, it takes a point, and which is x and y. So in this case, let's try, it's still here only. Shadow, can we have this shadow on top? Shadow, for now let's have it black so that, oh, it is there. It is there. So margin is fine, background is white, stroke thickness 0, stroke shape is also fine, radius, if we increase this bot radius which is looking, okay, what if we move it to, okay, it is moving 100 100 150 150, and it is gone from bottom and it is on top. Now change its color to this dark color. Not dark, we should use light only. Then we'll be able to see this, right? So let's have this color. Okay, and on this border we also have stroke thickness 0 and everything looks nice now. Fine. Next thing is we need this text. So this last vertical stack layout, it should have two labels, one for this one and one for the next terms and conditions part. So let's say what it says, body mass index. So I have added this text and added another label for this terms and conditions text. So let's design these. So first one, I think it is fine, there's nothing to be changed, but for the second one we need to change the font size. So let's have it like 8, 10, 12. 12 should be fine, and it is italic. So for italic we could use font attributes and we can have italic, and this is fine. Then there should be spacing between these two, so we could have it from vertical stack layout only. Let's have a spacing of 20 or maybe 25. Fine. And now when we added this 25, then we can see this shadow again. Let's have this just 20. Okay, fine, let's have it 20 only for now. So we have all these things are in place now. Save it, everything is fine. This weight is working, height is working, and now we need to move to the next part, and that next part is to get this thing working. So when we click on this button, it should go and calculate the body mass index on the basis of this height, weight, gender, etc. So our gender is not required, but for that formula the height and weight is enough. So on clicking on this we will show activity indicator, then it will calculate. So for this we need, so we have these two things, height and weight, from these properties, x name height slider and x name weight slider. So we could use these two. So let's add a click or press handler on this image button. So let's use pressed. Use this image button pressed, and we will change it to, let's say, calculate BMI underscore pressed. Let's go back and change this. Yeah, calculate BMI pressed. Fine. So here we have access to our height slider and weight slider. So for this one, the formula, that formula is weight kg divided by height square, that is in meter. So but we have height in centimeter. So first thing, we will get height in meter. So we have our height slider dot value, and now this value, we have this value in centimeters. In order to convert it to centimeter, meter, we need to multiply it by 100. So this is height in meter. Next thing, we need weight, that is in kg only. So kg, this is fine. So now we will calculate BMI. So BMI is going to be weight in kg. So let's have a variable to have it explicit. So weight in kg, it would be weight slider dot value. Now BMI is going to be weight in kg divide by height in meter into height in meters. So height in meters square. Now we have this BMI calculated here, but so we have these readings. So the logic, hmm, so BMI score: underweight if less than 18.5, normal 18.5 to 24.9, overweight 25 to 29.9, and obese 30 and above. So let's have logic for this.